Hello and welcome to this My Theme Shop video screencast. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to do a full setup of myPortfolio, which is the perfect WordPress theme for showcasing your work. With a beautiful and highly customizable layout and lots of options, you'll be able to keep your visitors on your site and wow them with examples of your services and products. It's a responsive, stylish, user-friendly and SEO-ready premium WordPress portfolio theme. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to do everything you need to do to get the theme fully set up on your site. Before we get started, you just want to head over to mythemeshop.com/WordPress-101, and here we're going to find a library of free video tutorials which will give you full information that you need in order to get your WordPress skills up to date, which you'll need for using the theme. You'll see we've got basic video tutorials available here, as well as more advanced items here, and you can watch all of these available here. At the bottom, you're going to find WordPress 201, which is some advanced WordPress tutorials, which are also available free. Have a look through those, and if you need to update your WordPress knowledge, then you'll find those there. We're now ready to get started with the installation of the theme. The first thing you want to do is head over to the My Theme Shop member area at mythemeshop.com/go/member. And there you want to scroll down on your active premium resources, expand My Portfolio, and then under download, choose theme files. So you can save that to your computer and that will download the theme files. Next, you want to head over to your WordPress dashboard, and from there go to Appearance and then click on Themes. From there, press Add New, and then we want to upload theme. You now want to choose the zipped file you've just downloaded from mythemeshop.com. So I'll select that here, press Open, and then Install Now. And WordPress is going to upload those files for you and install the theme. You'll see from there you can press Activate and you'll have the My Theme Shop My Portfolio theme running on your site. From here you'll be taken to a page where you can install some required plugins for the theme. And you want to install all of these by ticking the box at the top here to select all of those. And under Bulk Actions you want to install and then Apply. And that will install all of those for you. You can return to the required plugins installer, again select all of those, and this time you want to activate. Press apply and WordPress will activate all of those for you. So these are the essential plugins, but there are also some recommended plugins. So if you click over to the second tab, you'll find some My Theme Shop and third-party plugins recommended for the My Portfolio theme. You'll find these available here, and you can see the ones that you've got installed already. So I have Post Formats installed already, but if you want to add any others, you can just press Install Plugin, and that will install it for you and set that up. And you can have a look through here and choose the recommended plugins that you want to add, and then you can just add some extra features to your site. So you've got a couple of plugins to choose from here. Once you're done installing your plugins, you want to head over to Appearance and then click on Theme Options. And this will take you to the Mission Control Center for your theme. This is where you can set up everything to do with the theme, and we'll be taking a look through all of these options in turn here. Before we start though, we want to head over to the bottom tab here, which is Import and Export. And here we're going to find the option to import and export the theme options, widgets and demo content you're going to find for the two layouts of the theme on the demo at mythemeshop.com. So you can see we can choose between the default and blog layouts, and if you click through to these links, then you're going to be able to see those in action. And you can import all of the theme options, widgets and content to get your site set up immediately with just one click here. So I'm going to choose the default layout. So as I'm installing on a new site without any content already, I can select the theme options, widgets and content. But if you already have content on your site, you'll want to import just the theme options and widgets. So I can go ahead and just press import theme options, widgets and content, press OK, and the theme is going to import and then set up the theme as it is in the demo on mythemeshop.com. And we can see now that's all finished, and if we press OK, then the theme options are going to reload and we now have the site completely set up, and we'll see these options are imported with the default options as you find on the mythemeshop.com demo. And if you were to visit the front page of your site, then you'll find that too looks like the demo that you'll find on mythemeshop.com. Now with this demo content imported, we've got all of these portfolio items available on our site, but you might want to know how to add these yourself. So from your WordPress dashboard, head over to Portfolio and then click through there. You're now going to find we have the demo content we've already added. And if you've imported this demo content, you can edit any of these just by clicking on them. You can click on the title and that's going to take you to what looks like the standard WordPress post editor, but this is for your portfolio items. You're going to find you can customize the content here using the standard what you see is what you get editor. You've got a couple of options on how to display the sidebar. So that could be having any custom sidebars that we'll create later. You can select these here or have no sidebar at all. Have default left or right. I'll leave this on default here. You can also choose category and add in a featured image here. So you can just select a featured image to display both across the top of your post and on the homepage of your site. And you'll also see that this is a slider here. And to use this, you can just head back to your post editor. And then you can choose under custom portfolio info, you can use the WordPress media library to select images here you want to add. So if I wanted to add this image here, as well as the one that we've already got, I can click these, both press use these files. We'll see those display there. I can remove them using that arrow there. And if we preview our changes, we're going to see that we've got those two images loaded up on the slider. If you've got the WP Review plugin installed, then you can make use of that there. And you'll also see below here, we've got a couple of extra custom portfolio options, including these entry items. So you'll see this displays down the left-hand side here. You can just add in these details here with the title and a short description. You can move these around using these arrows here, and you can add extra entries just by pressing the Add Another Entry button. I'll just remove that extra one there. Once you're done making any changes, you'll want to press update here. And if that's a new post, you'll just need to press publish. I'll just show you if you're heading onto portfolio and then add new. Here you can add in your new portfolio items and it's the same as we saw just now. If we now have a look at our website, we'll see we now have those options as we've set them, including this featured image. You've got the title here, some extra information down the side in the order we had them, and then we've got the regular content as well. We'll come to set up things such as the similar projects section later on in the video. From here, if we head to the blog pages on the myPortfolio theme, you'll see you have a number of different options for displaying your blog posts, including galleries, standard articles, and video content. I'll show you now how to add these. If we just head over to our WordPress dashboard and then head to posts, we're going to see that each of these posts has a different post format. If we just click on an article, we're going to find we've got the standard post editor here, but above this, we've got a number of options. We can choose a standard post type, a gallery, which is what this type of post is, a quote, audio, and video. So we'll see with the gallery post type, if I just open this up on our site, what we've got here is a preview in the archive section. So back on the blog page, we had this gallery available here. But on the blog post itself, we've got the gallery items here. And if we go back to the edit, we can see we can add more images in here. And this brings you to the standard WordPress media library. So you can add in those there. And then switching between these post types is easy to do. You just need to select the one you want. So standard will just give you a standard post. Gallery will give you this gallery at the top here, as we saw. Quote is going to display an additional overlay at the top of the post where you can add in the source name and URL of your quote and then add the quote content down below. And you've also got audio. Audio will allow you to embed audio into your post, so you might want to do that using a content from SoundCloud, as you can see here. So for content type supporting OE embed, you can just place the URL, otherwise you'll need to place the embed code. And then finally for video, you can enter the video embed code here, and that's going to display the video content up the top. So this is a Vimeo video. If we click on this, we're going to see that this will load up with the video at the top of the page. And that's how you use those different post formats. You can just add in those here or select standard just to get your standard blog posts. As always, make sure you update your content once you're done. We're now ready to get on with the theme setup, and we can do that by heading to Appearance and then clicking on Theme Options. This will take us back to the theme's mission control center that we saw earlier, and we'll make a start with the General Settings. The General Settings tab contains option settings which can be applied to the whole theme. That includes adding things such as your logo. I'm just going to remove this default one here in order to show you how to add your logo image in here. So I'll press Browse, and then I can either choose from the WordPress media library or upload a new file. I'm going to select Files and then choose my logo here. Just press Open and then select Image in order to add that in there. And my logo is now added. You can add a favicon, a touch icon, and a metro icon for Internet Explorer 10, and it's the same process for all of those. Just press Browse and then choose your logo. You can add in your Twitter username, so I might add in my theme shop team here, and you can just type in your username, and you can also add your FeedBurner URL. So for example, I might add in http feeds.feedburner.com/mythemeshop, and you can add that with a free account on feedburner.com in order to get more detailed analytics on your RSS subscribers. You can also add in any code you want added to the header section of your site, so before the closing head tag, and that might include things such as Google Webmaster Tools verification, Bing Webmaster Central, buy-sell ad script, and so on. And it's the same for the footer. You can add any code you want to add in there, which might include Google Analytics, Clicky, and Stat Counter. You also have the option to enable or disable AX Quick Search, and if you have this on, it's going to have the search results on your site appearing instantly below the search form. So I'll just save these changes here. So if we just head on to a page here so that we can get the search bar up, and if we now start typing, we're going to see that the search results that match the term we've added in display instantly below. We can also load the full results if we'd like to, and then click through to that portfolio item. So it's a really nice way of improving the user experience on your site. The myPortfolio theme is responsive, which means it adapts to tablet and mobile devices, ensuring your content is always displayed beautifully no matter what device visitors are using. If you do want to turn this off so that visitors always see the desktop version of your site, you can do so here, but you'll probably want to have that on. Final option here is if you're using the WooCommerce plugin, you can enter the total number of products which you want to show on the shop page. So here this is currently set to 9. Save those changes once we're done, and the next tab that we can have a look at is the Performance tab. And this tab contains some performance related options which can help speed up your website. Here we have a number of things, including enabling or disabling prefetching. This works so that if the user is on the home page, then the single page will load faster, and if the user is on a single page, then the home page will load faster, both in modern browsers. So this will have your website loading faster if you have this on. You can also enable or disable lazy loading, and what this does is delays the loading of images outside of the viewport until the user scrolls to them. So what that means is that if an image is on the bottom of the page and the user loads the top of the page first, then the image at the bottom of the page is not going to load until the user scrolls down to the bottom of the page. And that just means that the initial loading time can be a lot faster. So you can have this on, and if you have this here, you have a number of additional options as well. You can choose to lazy load featured images, so you might want to have that off for featured images but on for post content images, just to get a nice balance between user experience and speed loading time. You can have async JavaScript tags in order to asynchronously load your JavaScript just by having this on. And you can also remove verb parameters from CSS and JavaScript file calls. This may improve speed in some browsers which do not have caching files in their parameters. Finally, you can choose to optimize WooCommerce scripts if you're using the WooCommerce plugin by turning this on. And also, if you're not using a caching plugin, then we'd recommend either W3 Total Cache or WP Super Cache, and that'll add a significant improvement to your site's loading time. And you can install either of those, they're both free, just by clicking on those links there. Save those changes once you're done, and the next tab we can have a look at is the styling options. From here you can control the visual appearance of your theme, including colors, layouts and patterns. The first thing you'll notice is we have the option to customize 3 color schemes. So if we load up our site once again, we're going to see we've got 3 main colors here, and you'll be able to see those throughout the site. For example, on this hover, you've got the highlight here, but then also the main color, and you'll see it also along here and throughout the site. You can customize these colors by clicking on select color, and then you can choose between any of these colors on the color spectrum. You can click through some defaults here, as well as customize the tint, drag and drop in order to choose a specific color here, or you can enter the HTML hex code here as well. So this was set to the default, which was a red. I might just change this to a blue so we can easily see the contrast. And I'll swap out the second blue we had for another red, and maybe just change the tint on that one. If we save those changes and then refresh our site, we can see those changes have been made immediately on our site, and right away we can see the difference here. So we've now got this hover color is the blue, with the secondary color the red. And you can also got a tertiary color here, which you can change with the same method. You can choose a default layout style for your site, and that means you can choose the default sidebar position, so either on the right or on the left, and you can just click between those in order to choose those. You can customize the site background and set the background color, pattern and image from here. So you've got the same color picker to customize the site background color, but you can also choose a background image, and that might include a pattern. You've got dozens of preset patterns to choose from here. You can upload an image, so just by pressing browse you can drag and drop an image into here, as we did with the logo, and you can choose the background repeat, attachment, position, size, and if there's a parallax effect on that. And finally you can choose a gradient. So I might just add in a gradient to our background here. I'll just choose 2 colors and then gradually fade between the 2. I'll save those changes, and if we now have a look at our site again, we're going to see when this loads, the background color is that gradient that we've just selected. If you'd like, you can also add in any custom CSS here, which will override the default CSS used on your site. And you can also enable or disable loading effects on the homepage, single portfolio view, blog archives, and posts. So if we have this off and save those changes, you'll note before we had that nice loading effect, but now if we refresh our site, you're going to see everything loads straight away rather than having that animated loading effect there. So you'll want to save your changes once you're done, and we can now move on to the next tab, which is to set up the portfolio items on your site. And from here, you can control the elements of the portfolio. This is the home page on your site, and if we have a look at it now, we're going to see at the moment we've got 12 items displaying here. So we've got 4 across and then 3 down. And you can customize this by changing the number here. So we might want to go up to perhaps 16 and save those changes. And now when we refresh our site, we're going to see we've got another row added in along the bottom here. So you can customize how many items are displaying on your portfolio. You can also choose whether to enable or disable a lightbox, which is a stylized pop-up that allows visitors to view larger versions of images without leaving the current page. So we'll see here images have the option to be expanded here, and that loads up this nice lightbox. If you want to disable that though, then you can do so by just turning that off. You can also customize the pagination type. So at the moment we have a 1, 2, and so on style navigation, but if you wanted to change this to next or previous, or have an AX load more button or an AX auto infinite scroll, then you can do so here. So I'll just save those changes, and now if we have a look at our site, we're going to see that this 1, 2 button is replaced by an AX load more button, and this allows you to load extra posts without leaving the current page. And it's a really nice way of improving the user experience and allowing visitors to more easily scroll through your portfolio without leaving that page. You can also enable or disable the similar projects section on single portfolio items. So if we have a look at just a portfolio item here, we're going to see that if we scroll down at the bottom, we're going to find similar projects displaying here. If you want to have this on or off, you can choose so here. And finally, you can customize the About Author widget buttons. So this will select the buttons that are in the About Author widget. So if we just head over to the portfolio again, you're going to see you've got an option to go to the full bio or contact. So we can customize these here. You'll see by default we have these two displaying here, and you can expand these in order to customize the title, add an icon if you'd like to, as well as have a URL where that button will go to. You can also choose the background color that's going to display there and press OK when you're done. So you can add in multiple ones of these, as well as drag and drop in order to move around how they are displaying, as well as add in extra buttons or delete the ones you don't want. So that's really easy to use, and once you're done, you can just save your changes. Next up then, we can have a look at the header options, and from here we can control the elements of the header section. The first thing is the background color. We'll see at the moment on our site, we've got this dark gray color, but you can customize this using the color picker as you're used to by now. I'm just going to leave that with that color we selected, but you can also choose a pattern, an image, or a gradient if you'd like, and it's the same as we had before, including having the option for the parallax effect. You can choose whether to enable or disable the primary navigation menu. So we're going to see here we've got the navigation menu available here, but if you'd like to turn it off, you can do so here. You can also choose to show or hide the logo, and show or hide the social icons, which will display along the bottom of the header here. You can also choose which icons are going to display, so you can expand these as well as customize the title, icon, URL, and also drag them around as we saw earlier. You can add extra header icons, customize the title, icon, URL, and delete those, as well as drag those around. So I'll just customize those just to show you how this works. Save those changes, and if we now have a look at our site, we're going to see when we refresh that those icons have moved around. So we can see now we have the Twitter logo first, and then Facebook, Google+, and so on. So that's all of the header options. Make sure you save your changes once you're finished going through those. Next up then, we can customize the footer. And here, as with the header, you can control the elements of the footer section. This looks very similar at first. We've got options for the background color and background image, including pattern, image, and gradient. And you can also have that parallax effect on. You can control the My Client section from here. So along the bottom, we're going to see we've got this My Client section, and it shows you an opportunity to show off some of the clients you've worked with. So you can customize what displays here, including the background color for this section, as well as whether to have it on or off in the first place. You can choose the heading and the description. So we'll see these two lines here. You can customize that. And you can add in logos for the images of the clients that you've worked with. So if we'll expand one of these, you can see you can drag and drop, customize as you're used to by now. You can add extra logos in if you'd like. So add the title, browse to add the image, and upload if you need to. And then also choose a URL if you want one. If you don't want them to link anywhere, you can just have a hash in there. So I'll just remove those. And the final option is whether to show or hide the footer navigation menu, which we can set up later. You can also choose whether to have the copyright text on. So we'll see it says theme by My Theme Shop. And if you are including this link back to My Theme Shop, you can use your affiliate link to earn 70% of the value of the sales you refer. And if you follow this link, that will show you how to set up your My Theme Shop affiliate account. Save those changes once you're done, and that's it for the footer. Next up then, we can have a look at the blog section of the theme. And here we can control the elements of the blog. Now the blog is just a page on your site with the page template of blog. And if we have a look here, we're going to see that right now this is how it is set up on the site. So we can customize all of this in the theme options. And the first thing you'll see is the option to choose the featured categories displaying on your blog section. So right now this is just set to our latest posts, and we're going we've got latest posts selected from this drop down of all the categories we've got on our site, and the number of posts is set under settings and then reading. So if we just open that up on our site here, just because this is latest post, you're going to see that this is 3 displaying here. So if we wanted to change that, we could do so here. I'll just leave it at 3 for the moment though. So you can also customize that by adding in extra sections if you like. You can choose any of your categories and again choose the number of posts. So for anything that's a category, you can just set the number here for the number of posts to display. You can drag and drop in order to drag these around, and you can remove any of these but just by pressing delete section. You also have the option to customize the blog page post meta information. So we'll see right now we have the date and full article link displaying. So we have the date and full article. We can also add the comment count, author name and categories if we'd like, and also rearrange any of those by dragging and dropping. So if we save those changes, and then if I refresh our site, then we'll see those changes to be made here, and the blog is going to have those extra informations added. So as with any other ones here, you can drag and drop in order to enable or disable. So I'll just take out a couple of these here. Finally, you can customize the blog pagination type. So that will be whether to have a default next to previous navigation, numbered, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, an AX load more button, or an AX infinite scroll. So you'll see right now we have a load more button, which is using AX here, but we can change that to numbered if we would like. Just select that one there, save those changes, and now if we refresh our site, we're going to see that change, and now we have these numbers going along here, which users can use in order to access the different posts on our site. As always, make sure you save those changes once you are done. And next up, we're going to have a look at single posts. Here you can control the function and appearance of your single post page. You can customize the layout, so that's whether to have these in different orders. You can choose to have the post content, author box and tags enabled or disabled and what order to show them in. So if we look at a post right now, we're going to see that we have the post content first, followed by the author box. If we wanted to add in tags between the two, we can just drag and drop, save those changes, and now when we refresh our site, you're going to see those added in here. You're going to have those tags added in. You can also have those on top if you'd like, or disable them completely. You can customize what meta information displays, including the author name, date, categories, and comment count. So we'll see we have all of those displaying right now, but if we wanted to remove any of those, we could do so here. For example, we could remove the comment count just by dragging it to disabled. And then if we save those changes and have a look at our site once again, you're going to see that disappear from there. That just adds you a little bit of extra customizability. You can show or hide breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs are a great way of making your site more user-friendly. They have this navigation at the top showing from the post to the parent categories all the way up to the home page, and you can enable or disable them here. You can customize the previous or next background. So if we have a look on our site, we're going to see we've got this previous and next buttons here. So we can click through to a next article. We can customize the background here, so whether that's a pattern, an image, which is already selected. We can choose a pattern here. We can choose an image. We could remove that and add your own if you'd like, or choose a gradient. I'll just leave that with the default image here. We have some options for comments here. You can choose whether to highlight comments made by the author, whether to display the date in comments, whether to have related posts on, and whether to use categories or tags in order to generate those related posts and choose the number of related posts to display. So if we have a look here, we're going to see that we've got 3 related posts, but we can choose to have different number or disable them completely. As always, make sure you save your changes once you are done. And next up, we're going to have a look at the social buttons. Here you can enable or disable social sharing buttons on single posts. We'll see right now we have the social sharing buttons situated below the content. So if we have a look at a post here, we're going to find we've got these social buttons here. You can, however, have these above the content if you'd like, And you can also choose whether to have the social sharing buttons display on pages as well as posts. I'll just leave that on post just by selecting off. Finally, you have the option to customize which social platforms display and in what order. So if we wanted to replace, say, Google Plus with LinkedIn and have LinkedIn first, if we save those changes and refresh our site, so you'll see we've now selected these to display at the top, and we've got LinkedIn followed by the two Facebook buttons, Tweet and Pinterest, as selected here. As always, save those changes once you're done. And next up, we can have a look at ad management. The ad management is easy with the My Theme Shop options panel. You can control everything you need to display adverts on your site without the need for separate plugins. You have two advert areas available. You have the below post title advert area and below post content. And into either of these boxes, you can paste your AdSense, buy-sell ads, or other ad provider code in order to show ads in the relevant position. So that would be either below article title on single posts or below the post content on single posts. And you also have the option to customize when the advert displays. So you can do this in order to select the advert to display X days after the post is published. You might want to do this in order to exclude regular users from seeing your adverts, but making sure that search engine users do see those adverts. So you could put 7 in here, for example, in order to have this advert below the post title displaying after 7 days, or you could set it to 0 in order to disable the feature. And it's the same for the below post content. You can select a number there or set to 0 in order to disable the feature. Save those changes once you have set up your adverts, and the next section to have a look at is the sidebars. You have full control over your sidebars, and here you can manage sidebars and select one for each section of your site, or you can select a custom sidebar on a per post basis in the post editor. So you can add custom sidebars here just by pressing add sidebar and then adding in the name. So here I'm going to add as an example a custom sidebar which will only display on pages. So I'm just going to give it the name page sidebar and the ID sidebar page. Press OK and then immediately save those changes in order to refresh this page and get the page sidebar added. So we can now apply this custom sidebar to anywhere on the site. You'll see we've got single post, single portfolio posts, single page, archive, all the different types of archive, search 404, and options for the WooCommerce plugin. And for any of these, you can use this drop down to select default, any custom sidebars you've selected, and for posts, you can also have no sidebar at all. So I'm going to select under page, I'm going to have the page sidebar here, and then save those changes. If we now head over quickly to appearance and then widgets, we'll cover this in full later, but I'll just show you how this works quickly. You'll see we have an extra sidebar created here. We have the page sidebar, and I'll just drop a widget into here just so we can see how this works in action. So now when I load up my site, I'm going to have the standard sidebar displaying on any posts or any portfolio items. But if I head over to a page, for example, this contact page, I'm going to see I've got this custom sidebar displaying with these custom archives, which is the widget I've selected to display in here. So you can drag and drop any of these widgets into any of the custom widget areas you create, and you have full control over these. You can add as many sidebars as you like, or just use these options to add sidebars on a per post basis or on a per page basis in the page and post editor. So as always, make sure you save your changes once you're done. It is worth spending a little bit of time with the sidebar section to fully get to know it, because it's the incredibly powerful way of customizing your site. Next up then, we have the navigation, and we're going to find these options in the menu section. So if we click on this link, it will take us to the WordPress menu editor. We're going to see here we have a menu already created. It is the primary menu, and you can see that we've got these menu items here. The first thing we can do then is remove this duplicate link, and we can do that just by expanding and then pressing remove. We can also drag and drop any of these in order to customize how they're displaying, and indent in order to add these as drop downs. So if I wanted blog as a drop down from home, then I could just do so here. Along the left hand side, you can add any content from your site. So for example, you can add any pages, and you can just tick these in order to add them in. So press add to menu, and that's going to add it there, and you can drag and drop as you see fit. You can also do the same for posts. You can go view all to see all posts, and you can also search. And portfolio items, custom links, you can add in any custom URLs and links here. Categories, formats, and any portfolio categories here. So you've got full control over these. You can also create additional menus once you are done creating individual menus. You want to make sure you save before you do that. If you go to manage locations, then you're going to have the option to apply these onto your site. So we'll see right now we only have the primary menu added. We can add a footer menu if we'd like to here. Just select that, save those changes. We can also add the mobile menu to have a different menu displaying on mobile. I'll leave that blank just to disable that. So if we save those changes and now have a look at our site, then we're going to see that we've got the footer menu added, and we've also got the home removed here. So we've just got one homepage link. And if we scroll down to the footer, we're going to see we've got these footer items here. So with the WordPress menu editor, you can edit your menus and get full control over how they display on your site. Next thing to have a look at then is typography. And here we can control the font used on our site. You can choose from the 17 standard font sets or from the Google Fonts library, which contains over 600 fonts. So all of these options are the same, and I'll just walk you through one of them as an example. So we'll see we've got logo font, navigation font, article titles, content, we've got sidebar options, and then content H1 through to 6. So I'll customize the navigation font here. And we're going to see first we have the option to set the font family. You can first choose between these web standard fonts, or if we scroll past these, we can access the Google Fonts library. You'll see up the top there's a link to the Google Fonts library, so you might want to visit that first because there are over 600 fonts to choose from, and it's more efficient just to do a quick search. So if I want to change from Roboto to perhaps Droid Serif, then I can do so here, and we'll see doing so brings up a little preview. We can change the font weight if that's available with the font, as well as the font size in pixels. You can customize the color. So for example, if we were going for something darker, you can actually change the preview color here so that you can still see that color. We'll just put that to a medium gray there. If we click on more, you also have the options to customize the CSS selectors, add any additional CSS, or choose a fallback font. So if the Google Font Library isn't available, then we can just go for a standard web safe font. So if we save those changes, load up our site, we're going to see that we've replaced the navigation menu just here. We've got this one here. If we load it up, we're going to see that's replaced with the Droid Serif font that we selected. And it's the same for all of these. You can select any of these fonts. You can remove any that you don't like. And it's the same to customize then. You've got complete control over the fonts displaying on your site. Finally, if you're using non-Latin character sets, then you'll want to choose a font which has those available, and you can just tick the extra character sets that you need. Note this is only available for specific fonts and not for all fonts. Make sure you save your changes once that's done, and that's how you can customize and get full control over the typography on your site. The final tab to have a look at then is the import and export. You'll note we had a look at the preset options earlier, but if we scroll past these, we're going to find two extra options here for import and export. If you expand these, you have the option to import and export options code. So it's an easy way of moving your options panel between two sites. You can also create a backup. So if we wanted to create a backup of the export options, then we can just copy and paste these into a text file. Or if we wanted to move them onto another site, we could just copy that and then paste here. Press import, and that is going to import all of those options that you've selected. You can also create a child theme in one click. This is a really good way of, if you're making advanced customizations to your site, making sure those customizations are not overwritten every time you update the theme. So if you're making any changes to the theme files, you want to be using a child theme, and you can just enter the name, press create child theme, save those changes, and then go to appearance themes and then activate that child theme, and you'll be able to make your changes to the child theme rather than to the theme directly, which would have the result of having your options and your customizations overwritten every time you update the theme. So for advanced changes, make sure you're using a child theme. This is a really easy way of doing that. So for the final time on the theme options panel, save those changes, and that concludes our look around the theme's mission control center. Next then, we're going to have a look under appearance and then widgets at the widgets on your site. You have two options here. You can either use this widget editor here or manage using the live preview. I'll just show you quickly how the widget editor works, and then we'll move over to the live preview. So we'll see on the left hand side we have all of the widgets available, and any by My Theme Shop have MTS as a prefix here. So you can drag and drop any of these onto the widget areas, which you'll find on the right hand side. So we'll see we can expand these, and these have a short description. So this is the default sidebar and the portfolio single page sidebar. You can see which widgets we already have because we imported them earlier, and add any extra widgets. So for example, we might add MTS category posts to the standard sidebar. We can drag and drop in order to do that. You can drag and drop between widget areas, as also you can drag and drop in order to move items around. So if we wanted to have this at the top of the sidebar, we can do so here. You can expand this in order to choose the options associated with each widget. So for example, in this widget, we can change the title, the category, as well as the number of posts to show. So we'll just go for 3 here, and as well as some other options. I'll just remove the thumbnails here and then save those changes. If we now have a look at the default sidebar on our site, if we head over to the blog and then click on a post, we're going to see the standard sidebar displaying. So we've got this featured category as we just set with 3 posts, and then we've got the other widgets available here. As I mentioned, we can drag and drop. So if we wanted to swap popular and category posts, we can do so, and that's going to save automatically. So when we refresh now, we're going to see that those two have swapped around, and we have popular posts at the top and then a featured category at the bottom. So you've got the same options available with the live preview, but this will only show you the widgets available on the page that you're on. So in the home page, for example, we don't have any widget areas available, so it's not going to allow us to edit any of these. If we click through to the portfolio item though, we're going to see we've got the portfolio sidebar available, so we can now add widgets or customize these as this is on the page. So we can add in this here, and we're going to see a nice little live preview available. So I can put that at the bottom there. We'll see that updates, and we can see what that looks like before pressing save and publish. So that's a nice way of getting a little live preview of the widget changes that you're making. And it's worth spending a little bit of time with these widgets, especially with the custom sidebar areas, because it's a really powerful way of customizing your site. So that concludes our look around the myPortfolio theme. As I mentioned up top, this is a really powerful WordPress theme for showing off your work. I hope this video has been helpful for helping you get set up and showing off your work. If you do have any queries, then head over to community.mythemeshop.com, and thank you very much for watching.